This is the Insurance Buzz. We are Courtney and Michael Weaver, and this is our 100th episode.
Let's go! Yeah!
And this episode, everything that you want is on the other side of fear, and we're going to talk about that concept right now.
Ooh, fear is bullshit.
It is. So we've been doing this now for 100 episodes.
This is crazy.
Wild to think about it. Huge thank you to you listening
Yes.
for being a part of this community, for following along, for navigating with us as we learned something new. And that's what we're going to talk about today, about the fear of the unknown and trying the thing that you want so deeply, but being scared of how it's going to be perceived.
Absolutely.
So when we started the podcast, so the podcast started at the beginning of 2022, and I had all of these questions. How do I do it? How does it start? What do we look, like all of the things. And
Question master.
the question master for sure. And very quickly we learned that there are a lot of things that are going to happen that are out of your control, and you're going to roll with it. And it's not going to be that big of a deal. But before we started, I was trying to anticipate all the problems before we were even in there. I didn't even know what it was going to look like, but that was the thing that was holding me back, was trying to plan for everything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And then you get into it and you realize that the only thing that's actually going to prepare you is by doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can have the best plan in the world, but without action, it's still just a plan. You're never going to know everything until you get in it, and even then, you're still not going to know everything.
Okay. So we had a different mic when we started. We had a whole different setup. We didn't know. We were just going with it. And quickly we learned I would say in the first 2 months, we misspelled people's names. We said their names incorrectly on the podcast.
Yep.
We had a whole podcast that was uploaded that wasn't even ours.
No, it was, I don't know what it was, but it was someone talking about feminine energy, man. Which I can get down on that. I listened to a little bit of it. I'm like, this is not the Insurance Buzz, though. What's going on, podcast team?
There is so many things that you have to learn that it's not that big of a deal, and allow yourself to be a beginner.
All right, but transparently, it feels like a big deal at the time. For example, the example you just said about putting out somebody's podcast that wasn't even me or you. At the moment, I was extremely frustrated. I was extremely irritated. I was like, what the hell? What's going on? But when you actually think about it...
Hold on. I don't want you to bypass this. I want to tell the actual story so you understand and know how it felt. Because I know you've been there. I know you've been at the beginning of something, navigating. So this was multiple things. And what would happen was our podcast gets uploaded at 5 a.m. Eastern. So at 5 a.m. Eastern or Central, one of those two times, it's very early in the morning. If there's a problem with the podcast, you come in, wake me up, and say, there's a problem with the podcast.
Because you're in charge. So, yeah.
Because I'm in charge of the podcast.
Yep.
So what that feels like for both of us is this, oh shit, what happened? And it's this immense, it's not even frustration for me. It may be frustration for you. It's panic and fear of who can hear this and how fast can I get this down and how do I correct this mistake? And what are people going to think? And oh God, oh my God,
Yep.
oh my God. And how many people have already heard this? Or, oh my God, what happened?
Is anybody going to listen anymore?
Oh my God, are they all going to leave us and think we're fucking idiots? Oh my God. This is the story, and it manifests and it becomes this whole rash of
Yep.
But the only way we got through that was understanding that you, the listener, are very gracious and kind, and you too have been a beginner, and you too have tried something new, and so you understand that things can happen. But also for us knowing, okay, if that was worst case scenario, that's not that big of a deal now.
It's really not that big of a deal. It was a great learning lesson, especially early on in our podcasting career. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was within the first 10, if I remember correctly. And it was, because things still happen today.
All the time.
Like we have things happen, and it's like, whatever, it'll be fine. Like,
mic goes out, it's fuzzy, we have to re-record, our internet goes out, again,
a duplicate podcast gets posted by accident. Like, things happen.
Titles are wrong, names are misspelled, we mispronounce things. Like, this is part of it. So we wanted to share this after a year of learning lessons and 100 episodes and you coming along in the journey, that it's okay to be a beginner, and it's okay to have fear around wanting to do something that is extremely important to you. But just know that the only way you're going to actually learn how to do it is by taking action. It's by doing it. And I know that that's like, I wish I had a way to bypass that and give you a different answer, but this is how you really adjust and become accustomed to being okay with shit hitting the fan.
Yeah. It's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It's the fear of sucking. It's the fear of, will anyone listen? It's the fear of, will people think I'm stupid? Like,
yeah,
that's everything in like every business we've ever operated or done. Pretty much everything in life. Like, you have all these false freaking fears run through. It's the little guy on the shoulder that's like, you suck. You can't do this.
Right.
Where the other, we all have two voices. Maybe I'm the only crazy one here with two voices. I don't know. The other voice is like, you can do it. You're amazing. You're going to help so many people. We can do this. And it's like, push through that. And like what you're saying, the only way to push through that is by taking action. Now, I still think you need to have a plan, but take action on the damn plan. And the plan doesn't have to be like super in depth, every detail, because things are going to come up. That's why we're talking about this in the episode. Things come up, you just deal with it. You just roll with the punches. You adjust and adapt as you go.
Well, action is what creates a new pattern. So if you have a belief around something, the only way to change that belief and make it, in this case, not true. Like, you're going to be terrible at podcasting. Nobody's going to listen. Who are you to do this? You're going to mess it up. Whatever negative story you have about starting something new. The only way you have the ability to change that is through action in a different path that gets a different response. So let's say, for instance, you've told yourself your entire life that you're never going to make 40 sales in a month. And you're like, there's no way I can do this in my insurance career. It's not going to happen. The only way you're actually going to get through that is creating a plan and following steps that will create a different outcome than what you've done in the past. So that's what we want to talk about today is being okay with going for it, making mistakes. Again, I mean, we've learned a lot of things. Podcasting is something that we talked about for years. And it is, if I had to rank what we do on a day-to-day basis, podcasting is up in probably the top 3 from a business, professional life standpoint. This is one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
to
we
do.
love it. We love it. It's a lot of fun. It's something that we, at least I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I look forward to every single day.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I absolutely love it, and it's but it's been extremely. I don't know if the word hard is the right word to use here, but there's been a lot of learning along the way, I guess.
Like
I would
what?
say. Learning lessons. Well, just in the work that does go into it. Like it's, reaching out to people to bring them on as guest speakers and it's like getting turned down or whatever it may be, like rejection, like, but it's so much freaking fun because of not only doing it with you, but also like doing it with you and then having guests, because we've learned so much from so many people. Like it is amazing how many folks out there are willing to put themselves out there,
Yeah.
share some golden nuggets, share like little words of wisdom, or just learn about their story. That's one of my favorite things about what we do at the Insurance Buzz is we hear people's story, and it's so much fun.
It's such I think podcasts are such an intimate way to get to know somebody. And it's the connection piece. So you bring up, hearing somebody's story. So you get to hear them as the listener too. And these people are incredibly giving and generous with what they have learned along the way, the failures and their successes, in an effort to hopefully help somebody, which I think is an incredible gift. But also the connection piece of you, the listener, to us, and us to you, because the messages that we have received about somebody, out there who went through something similar, or
Yep.
like that makes it, for me,
That's the best part.
yeah, that connects all of
Yeah.
us together and saying, like, I'm not going to withhold the good, bad, and the ugly. I'm going to share all of that in hopes that it enriches your life in some capacity.
It's that hearing and it's like almost like anything we do in life. Like if one person gets something out of an episode, that's what this is all about. Like,
Yeah.
and so those of you that do text us or instant message us just to share, like, man, I love that episode. This is what spoke to me. Thank you, because that one little text or instant message literally, it fills me up. Like it means a lot. It's powerful, because just by knowing, like, man, you got that from that episode, and you sharing it, it like lights a fire. Like, hell yes. Like, wait till you see what we've got planned in 2023. And that's just, but like, we are always trying to be like, all right, how can we add even more values and help even more people? And so thank you guys. Like, thank you so much. It's been a wild 100 episodes, lots of learning lessons along the way, but your text messages and messages and just reaching out, they mean a lot.
Yeah. So with that being said, I would say if you have somebody that you want to see or hear from, or if you want to be a part of the Insurance Buzz, shoot us a message. Like, this is what this is all about, is
Shoot your shot.
shoot your shot, is connecting with us, and us being able to connect with you. I think that this has really made, for me, this has been one of the greatest tools I've ever used in my growth and development, is a podcast space.
Yep.
And it's a long-term game for us, because when you do a podcast, you have to be committed to not just doing it for, a few episodes or seeing what it looks like. Like, this is all about showing up and consistently providing value. So your feedback as well on the episodes that you like or what you want to see more of is incredibly valuable to us, because if not, we're just two crazy married people talking to a microphone in a room with a lot of lights and a lot of sound equipment. So I think that this is just, I had no idea that this would become what it became. And I'm so glad that we went for it. And I'm so glad that you came along as the listener to watch that evolution too, to hopefully inspire you in your life.
Yeah. Action, like you said.
Action.
We really didn't. We had no idea what the Insurance Buzz was going to become. We really didn't have a plan of oh yeah, we'll get 100 episodes by this date. We were just like, man, let's do this.
We had no goals.
Yeah, we didn't have any goals.
Which is crazy, because we're the type
so
of people of what's
yeah.
the best? What's
Yeah.
the top? How do we make it there? And we're like, let's just do it and
Yep.
see what happens. And I think by having fun with it too, it gave us more permission to really play around.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And as Courtney was saying, if you ever want to hear anyone on the Buzz, if you want to hear a certain topic, maybe you want to come on, all right? Reach out, let us know. Please share the Insurance Buzz with peers. Tag us on social media. This just isn't this episode, but any episode, feel free to do this. I'm going to ask for this. If you haven't already given us a 5-star review, it does mean a lot. It helps out a ton, because the more reviews we get, the more 5 stars, the more this podcast shows up in front of people when they're searching for podcasts. And so thank you for your support. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, all I have to do is gratitude. Just say thank you, because you guys have been amazing.
Yeah, 100 episodes in. Stick around. We got 100 and gazillion more.
I don't know how many more we got, but what I do know is we've got some 2023 plans with some guests.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
You've already seen us combine. I mean, now me and you're doing it together, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we have we've shared this before, a different perspective and a different network. And I think as this grows and evolves, yes, it's for the insurance space, but it's also just for anyone who wants to grow personally and professionally. That's really who we are as human beings. Is we're obsessed with growth, and so we're going to constantly share what we're going through, what we're growing through, again, in hopes to inspire you to live a life you're excited about.
Absolutely. So, I got to slide this in real fast, because you're probably not going to hear this ever again unless you go back and listen to an earlier episode. So, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. No, for real, guys, thank you. We appreciate you. As always, time is the most valuable and important asset that we all have. We appreciate you spending time with us today. Go out and make it great.